Hey there guys, it's Tom from Dolphin Dive Productions. If you've been enjoying our EGX videos, thank you so much to everyone who's commented and rated those videos. Thank you so much for taking the time out to view them. Don't worry, we actually have got one more surprise video to come. It's another indie developer interview. We thought we'd lost the footage, but we've managed to recover it, and that will be coming very, very soon. But first of all, we need to talk about a beta that's been going on for the last 4 days. It is the Star Wars Battlefront 3 beta. Of course it is. Why am I even introducing that? Look on your screen, it's fucking awesome. These are my first thoughts and impressions. I mean, obviously a beta will be not riddled with bugs, but of course there's going to be some issues that need to be addressed, balancing issues, so on and so forth. The game mode that I'm on at the moment, I'll give you a little bit of breakdown on that. It's the Water Assault. It's one of 2 available game modes. The other is Drop Zone, and I'm looking to bring you the separate video of that later on. My equipment set is MG Blaster, an MG style blaster, ion grenades, ion shots, and a charger rifle. So what is the water assault? What do you have to do? Well, the Imperial forces have to defend the AT-AT waters, those are the big things, from several waves of Y-wing bombing attacks. If those attacks land, they actually leave the AT-AT waters unshielded, allowing the rebels to cause damage with guns and turrets, which they wouldn't normally be able to do. The way the Imperial forces stop this from happening is that they have to assault, you see on the map, you'll see on the map 2 blue or 2 white, depending on who's under control of them. Those are like outposty type things that the Imperials have to control to stop the Y-wings from coming in, and the rebels have to have those under control so they can actually lock in those Y-wing bombers and attack the ATSTs, the AT-AT waters. Imperial forces can deactivate these outposts, but only by one way, not destroying them, but by actually reaching it on foot and holding the square button or whatever button you have to deactivate it. It's blooming hard to do, and it's great. It stops vehicles from becoming so all-encompassing like most Battlefield games. It all solely comes down to infantry and trench combat. That's one of the things that really keeps bringing me back to this beta, is that sort of immersive atmosphere. Weapons and cards. Well, I'm going to talk about this game mode especially. I focus on long to medium range combat. MG and the charger rifle allow me to do that, because the MG, although it has the lowest damage rate, it has the highest fire rate. I'm allowed to suppress enemies longer, and it does do more damage the longer you over long distances. Adding the one-shot charger rifle, that's a one-hit. It takes off 90% of health, or one-hit kill to the head, and that's on a cooldown period. It's not something you can just sit back and use repeatedly. It's like a 10-20 second cooldown period. For the rebels especially, and this is very, very important. Rebels have to stop the Imperial forces. Imperial forces have access to AT-AT walkers and ATSTs. Ion grenades and ion shots, those are going to be the game changers. If you get a squad of people using those, you can take down those ATSTs without any problems before they become a problem. And as they did, they are used exclusively against vehicle combat. And as those TIE fighters come down to assault your trenches, you can throw one up in the end. If it hits, it does a lot of damage to those as well. This is vital, as you're going to be dealing with not only infantry, but those vehicles. And when those shields on the AT-AT walkers go down, you'll need to cause as much damage as possible. When those shields go down, if you put on your charge shot, your gun will glow blue for a brief period of time, and you deal more damage to vehicles. So if an ATST water comes up, attach that iron shot and go for it. Just muller them. Doesn't matter where, just do the most damage. Same with the charger rifle. They do damage to vehicles as well. It does about 20 damage to an AST water. And of course turrets, once those shields are down, turrets become key. Then you can just blast those AT-AT waters all day. The Imperial forces, you'll encounter a load of anger and damage inducing turrets. Ion grenades take those blasters out in one, and they save you from sinking time and wasting time by taking them out with your blaster. Yes, you can take them out with your blaster, with your charger rifle, whatever weapons you're using, thermal grenades, but ion grenades take them out in one, move on to the next one. I sometimes like to sneak behind the enemy lines and start periodically taking out those turrets, because the enemy can't repair them. And it really screws them up later on in the game when you know, on the final approach. Tokens are dotted around at various points of the map. They allow you to access the AT-AT walkers and rain death from afar, and access to the ATSTs. They are not available like most other Battlefield games. The vehicles are not available to spawn in. It takes out turret camping. It takes out vehicle camping, tank camping, all those sorts of campers that people in Battlefield you encounter on Battlefield. Other such tokens give you access to the following. Smart rocket launcher locks onto, if you aim in the rough direction of an AST or an aircraft or the AT-AT water, it will automatically lock on. Orbital strikes, devastating against infantry, vehicles and attack waters. Note, the only way you can use orbital strike as the Imperial forces is from the attack water, and it has a big cooldown time, so use wisely, place it carefully. Can be used more than once. The rebels have one shot, but tokens respawn in various locations. I advise you, if you have an orbital strike as the rebel forces, please hold on to it. Don't waste it on infantry. If you die, you will hold on to it. The rebels can do devastating damage to those attack waters, and they can prove the difference between winning and losing. If you take down one attack water, then everyone obviously then just has to focus on one, and your chances of victory are increased. Thermal imploders, awesome grenades that protect, deal a wider arc than damage than normal thermal grenades. Squad shield produces a small shield that protects against laser fire, but not from ion shots, ion grenades, or charger rifles. And of course the hero token, and you can become either Luke or Darth Vader depending on which team you are, and each hero has its special abilities. Luke has a speed dash attack and then uses the forces to hurl enemies away from him. Darth Vader lifts them up with the force and crushes the life out of him in his trademark throat clutching way, and he can throw his lightsaber at enemies, and good use with the hero can turn the tide of a battle one way or the other, and each hero can use the lightsaber to deflect lasers. Obviously if you get a lot of people teaming up on these hero bastards, then they can be taken down easily, especially if the person doesn't know how to use them properly. From what I can see, the beta does a fantastic job of immersing you, the player, into the Star Wars universe. The Water Assault, that's the one that we're focusing on today, especially feels just a little bit more epic than any other game I've played. There are, you know the consequences of the Imperials and the Rebels either winning or losing. You've seen it in the films, so you fight that little bit harder to keep that universe intact, or to ruin it if you're on the Imperial side. You know how vital this is. You see, I just picked up the orbital strike. I will use that against the attack water later on. And there's a real sense of companionship and teamwork to complete the objective and to win the mode. Unlike most Battlefield games I've played, you get those lone wolves. Yes, you still can be a lone wolf on this, but the map sort of like advances. As those attack waters advance, so do the front lines. They change. It's a dynamic, it's an ever-changing battlefield. It's a dynamic battlefield. That's what I love so much about it. Look at that. People running across the snow-to trenches and I'm laying fire down on them. That is just an epic feeling. It makes such a cool noise, the blasters. Everything about this mode, everything about this game just makes you feel Star Wars, makes you feel like you're in that sort of universe. A universe that a lot of us grew up with as children. A lot of us are only just now getting to know the series, getting to know the franchise. You will appreciate how good a job this game does. Just not to rack up the kills, and while the gameplay in the background isn't the most kill-laden one I've got, I have got gameplays of 35, 45, 50 kills. It's the one I'm most proud of because I've been playing this for 4 days straight, pretty much. And I've only lost once as the Imperial forces and won only twice as the Rebels. It's really, really difficult, and I think after what this beta has proven, there does need to be some sort of balancing act between the Rebels and the Imperial forces. That at water time is limited, which you will see when I do a very smooth transition now. And here's when I try and use my orbital strike. It turns out the attack water is so low on health it doesn't really matter. You can deal damage to aircraft as well. And there's me pressing square, so now my gun is instantly cooled down. And here comes the epic moment. The epic moment that I was... Oh, look at that blow up, you bastard. Oh, sorry. Bringing it back to the conclusion. People have been asking me one very specific question. Is this Star Wars? And I can say without any doubt in my mind that judging from the beta, yes. Yes it is. It is the game I've been waiting for, and it has duly delivered, and I cannot wait to see what other unlocks, what other maps, what other game modes they've got planned for us. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, click like, comment, rate and subscribe. Thank you very much. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. I will be uploading more Battlefront 3 gameplay and Black Ops 3 footage as well. I've recorded a ton on both, but I don't want to have videos empty of any content or empty of any commentary. I'm in an hour. I will only upload as soon as changes are announced based on the beta and before the game comes out. So guys, thank you so much for watching and take care.